Hello everyone. Today this video is very important. You've heard me talk about Boeing relinquishing their on-site inspection for 22 years, where they would send a group of Boeing inspectors to look at their subcontractors and suppliers. This video today should answer some of your questions and make you more leery about jumping on one of these birds. And I say that humbly. I am a shareholder of Boeing. I just want to let you know that. I do not bash them because I do that out of disgust, because I do it out of disgust. I've been watching the quality at Boeing erode over the past 20 plus years. The reason the wheels are falling off commercial airliners, QA expert Daryl Guberman explains. There are not enough fully trained mechanics to maintain all of the aircraft in service today. Both crashes, 2018 and 2019, the Ethiopian Air and Indonesian airliners, were linked to the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, MCAST, a new automatic flight control feature. I want to interject this. The new CEO at Boeing is Robert Kelly Oatberg. He goes by Kelly Oatberg. He was the CEO on Rockwell Collins when the MCAS system was designed, manufactured, and implemented on the 737 MAX. When those planes went down, 2018 and 19, 348 people died, lost their life. Robert Kelly Oatberg retired in 2021, I think because the heat in the kitchen was getting too much. Continue on. Investigators into both crashes determined that Boeing and the FAA favored cost-cutting solutions, which ultimately produced flawed design of the MCAS system. My friends, this is what has happened. In 2009, the FAA made Boeing an agency of the FAA. You cannot make this up. Let me go less glare. 2009, they were made to self-certify. They could certify new aircraft technologies like MCAST system and also new aircraft designs like what Sam Salapar was saying on the 777, 787. In 2019, after the air crashes, Ethiopian Air and Indonesian Air, a spokesperson for the FAA came out and said the FAA has never allowed companies to police themselves or self-certify their own aircraft. Liar, liar, pants on fire. So, we continue on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just fix this camera a second. There we go. I apologize for that. And here I am, supporting Sam Salapar, April 17th, 2024. He is correct. Those two pieces of paper are very simply to discuss, and then we will continue. We will continue now, though. Investigations into both crashes determined that Boeing and the FAA favored cost-saving solutions, which ultimately produced a flawed design of the MCAS system. What they did in 2002 April, they came out, worked with this company called Performance Review Institute for NADCAP for special processes, heat treat, welding, non-destructive testing like penetrant inspection, etc. Send in your cert, send in your parts, and Boeing doesn't have to do any on-site audits. Just several months later, in July of 2002, they came out with a supplier procurement bulletin that stated, you send in your AS9100 certificate for aerospace as long as it's ANSI ANAB accredited. Why? Because it's very simple. Boeing sits on the board, and they took that down. I have the actual web page. I took a picture of it, where it says Boeing Aircraft and others, and it says that they can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification. They call out ANSI ANAB on their supplier portal. ANSI ANAB, third-party registers must be ANSI ANAB or internationally equivalent, and also they do it on their supplier bulletin. So they're actually constricting freedom of they're basically breaking the Sherman-Clayton Act. That's what I'm going to say. They basically said, send in your cert, send in your parts, and you're all good to go for 22 years. Same with NADCAP. The problem is that you have the DOJ that most recently came out and stated that they fined Boeing I think it was $250 million. The only problem is that the DOJ sits on ANSI ANAB's board right over by Boeing. They're not just a member of the board of ANSI ANAB. They use them. They are a customer of ANSI ANAB, along with the DHS, along with the FDA, and along with the Department of Commerce. Estimating the exact number of airplanes and helicopters worldwide is challenging, as registries and data resources vary. I'm not going to go into the multitude of aircraft, but I will say this. The aviation industry is facing a significant shortage of skilled technicians, with Boeing predicting a need for 626,000 new maintenance technicians worldwide by 2040. Airbus also estimates that the industry will require 710,000 highly skilled technicians over the next 20 years. This growing demand is driven by the factors such as increasing air traffic, fleet growth, and the need for more efficient and sustainable aircraft. The Federal Aviation Administration is responsible for certifying A&P mechanics. While the exact number of A&P mechanics worldwide is not available, the FAA reports that 27% of the certified A&P mechanics are at least 64 years old, indicating a potential retirement bubble and a need for new entrants to the profession. Can I make an interjection? If the FAA granted Boeing regulatory authority, how are we going to know that they're not going to do that with A&P mechanics? Oh, you know how to torque a bolt. Here you are. Here's your A&P certificate. Because that's basically what they did with Boeing in 2009, to self-certify their own aircraft, to approve new aircraft technology and new aircraft designs. And in that context of this article that I'm talking about, it states that those FAA certified Boeing inspectors, okay, FAA inspectors, but they were being paid by Boeing, they were on Boeing's payroll, they would report most of their findings. So couldn't they do the same thing in theory with the A&P mechanics? Oh, you can know how to torque a bolt down. Here's your test. Here's your certificate. Go out there. That's the easiest way, don't you think, ladies and gentlemen? Do you feel comfortable on an airplane? Not me. That's why I don't fly. To address this shortage, educational institutions are expanding their programs to train aircraft mechanics. Overall, while the exact number of certified A&P mechanics worldwide is not available, the industry is facing a significant demand for skilled technicians, and efforts are underway to address the shortage through training and educational programs. The number of A&P mechanics, airframe power plant mechanics, required for a Boeing 737, for example, varies depending on the airline's maintenance philosophy, a flight schedule, and regulatory requirements. Here's a general background. I'm going to give this to you, ladies and gentlemen, because we did the analysis here. We looked into it. We have a friend of ours in aviation. He's an A&P mechanic, and he basically said that for Southwest Airlines, they have like 984 planes where they have 1.7 A&P mechanics per plane, okay, to fix that. When in actuality, they need 2 to 4 mechanics. Boeing requirements, okay, for 737 is 4 to 6 maintenance personnel per 737 aircraft, line aircraft. For base maintenance, Boeing requires 10 to 15 personnel per aircraft. So we have some serious issues. Line maintenance is 2 to 4 A&P mechanics per shift, and then for line and the line maintenance, and then you have Boeing requirements for base maintenance. That means where you do heavier, like removing the engines, oiling the aircraft, etc. You've got some heavy duty. You need whereas 10 to 15 people, technicians to do it. We really have a shortage here, ladies and gentlemen, but they're not telling you about that. And when Boeing relinquished or, absolved themselves, outsourced or relinquished source inspection to 2 pieces of paper, as I showed you, as Patrick Shanahan said, as Deputy Secretary of Defense under Donald Trump, we're fucked. And that's it. It's fucked up. 203-556-1493. I thank you.